is to break up countries, including this one, same with the United States and Canada, they want the same, and around the world, into different regions to de-unify in a unified response to the dictatorship at the center, the European Union. And that's why they're breaking up Britain into different regions in their maps, which are connected into other regions of other countries, and you're de-unifying the authorities and the orchestration of those countries. They want this become the American Union. They're already starting to organize the road system to take goods from the Mexican ports up in through America, into Canada, turn it into one union, just like Europe. And this is another thing. The reason they're opening borders and allowing people from all different countries to come into other countries, and indeed go the other way, why there is in many areas no Mexican border with America anymore, why there is a great movement of peoples into other countries, is behind all this. And that's not racist, because those coming in and those affected by those coming in are both victims and pawns of the same force. We need to understand that. If you want to break countries up, I mean, let me say where I'm coming from first of all. I was born in Britain because if I wasn't born on a piece of land, I would have drowned. Simple as that. I don't care. I'm infinite consciousness like everyone else. I ain't British. It's just an experience. I ain't into all that stuff. But a lot of people are, and fair enough. Good luck to them. And while there is an identity of a country and a culture, that is a resistance to allowing your country to be broken up into the system that they want. So what they're doing is opening borders to bring in and cross-match people all over the place, to break down. It's all systematic. We might agree with it, we might not agree with it, but it's systematic where it's coming from. To break down a sense of culture, to break down individual culture, to break down a resistance to that structure, that sovereignty, that culture being broken up. It's being systematically done. They'd have never got away with this years and years ago, but now we've got all this movement, now they can get away with it. I keep reading articles, what is it to be British anymore? That's the idea, that's what they want to bring about, because then people will say, well, there's no country anymore, there's no culture anymore, they might as well change it, don't matter. And they're doing that in America and all over the world today. It's total cynicism of the way it's done. Now, it's kind of funny. Some of the people on the left in politics kind of dismiss what people like me say about a conspiracy, and they say there is no conspiracy to create an Orwellian state. It's rubbish. You're mad. You're stupid. All the rest of it. And the next thing they do is they pick up a banner and they say, "Stop globalization! Stop globalization!" What do they think globalization is? Globalization is the centralization of global power in every area of our lives. It is the agenda I'm talking about unfolding before our eyes. These different protests need to just come together and realize they're protesting against the same force and the same agenda. And it's an agenda for the centralization of power in every area of our lives. The World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, all these things are just pawns and creations of these bloodlines to control from the center, to create a situation where no one has independence of maneuver in their own sphere of influence or community. It's about cross-matching dependency, so this can't operate without dependency on that, and that can't operate without dependency on that. Dependence. Dependence equals control. Independence equals choice equals freedom. That's why they want to take independence away. That's what globalization is. That's why they move jobs from one country into another country and move other jobs over here, or they move this over there. It's making everyone dependent on everyone else. Free trade, love it. Wouldn't it be great if we had free trade? Free trade, freedom to exploit trade. That's what it should be called. It allows transnational corporations to make things in sweatshops in one part of the world in horrendous conditions on horrendous wages and then ship them across. No border taxes increasingly because it's globalization and it's free trade. And then they sell them to people with the money and they make on both ends of the deal. That's what free trade is. We don't have capitalism. Anti-capitalist. I'm not anti-capitalist. We don't have capitalism. We have cartelism. That's what we have. And then you hear, to a certain extent, the anti-globalization movement. It's just, no, there's no conspiracy. It's just big, bad, greedy corporations. Yeah, controlled by the same people. The corporations are not the origin of globalization, they are the vehicle for it. And it's all leading outside of the holographic reality to this. Homeland security, military dictatorship. This is Hitler proposing the creation of the Gestapo in Germany. An evil exists that threatens every man, woman and child of this great nation. We must take steps to ensure our domestic security and protect our homeland. I heard that somewhere before, more recently, didn't I? I think so. So, more cameras. And these cameras are not for surveillance of the general population. That's not what they're really going in there for. General population, working through the left brain, hey, honey, you know, Paris Hilton's on, all that stuff. They're no problem. No problem at all. This is for people who are waking up. So this is in London. This was after the bombings in London. They produced this poster for the London transport, secure beneath watchful eyes. In other words, surveillance, surveillance. We're protecting you from the terrorists. And this is from Germany in the 1930s. Same bloody poster, in effect, and the same motivation. And I got sent this one, stands back in amazement. This is Sheffield Bus Station, right? Sheffield Bus Station in England. Spit and run, you'll still get caught. Every bus, tram and interchange has DNA testing kits. Spit at the staff and you can be traced and prosecuted, even if we don't know what you look like, and your records will be in the National DNA Database forever. What? I'm dreaming I'm going to wake up. Every bus, tram and interchange has DNA testing kits. They're now getting people who get the rubbish to look through it, to see what you're doing with your rubbish. And then now we've had traffic wardens turned into civil enforcement officers. I don't know if I told you this, but I will. I got sent a letter by a traffic warden a few months ago now, actually a few weeks ago, but it happened to him a few months ago. And he's a traffic warden. He's been traffic warden for a long time in England. And one day in the last few months, he was called in by his boss and he was given out 3 new cards. And one of the cards was giving him authority to be a traffic warden, fair enough. The second card was what they call the PACE card. This is the words that a police officer has to say to when he arrests someone. You don't have to say anything, but if you don't say it, all that stuff. And the other card was the right for this traffic warden to enter property. And so this is a nice guy. He said to the boss, "What are you doing? What's all this? I don't want these. What's this? Not a job. I'm a traffic warden. I take tickets." And he was told, just take them home, put them away, and until further notice. A few days later, an old friend of his who's a policeman is walking out the police station with this briefcase, and there's a few traffic wardens together, and he came over and he chatted away. And then as he was leaving, the policeman called his mate over, the traffic warden who wrote to me, and he said, look, he said, about 3 or 4 times he said this in the conversation, don't tell anybody, but you're my mate, I want to tell you this. He said, I've been working in this county, and there's someone like me in every other county, and we are preparing for a war that's coming. And they're expecting great civil unrest when this war happens, and the military and we, the police, will be at the front line